Hello, hello. Welcome to our Career Discovery Friday. Today we have Caroline Neal with us, a former swimmer. I guess you didn't dive, so we'll just call you a swimmer.
I don't
Caroline,
want to, but
tell
that's
us
it.
a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. I'm so honored to be here and just super excited to be around the Seminole family. I am currently in Columbia, South Carolina, working at the University of South Carolina in student athlete development. So, which encompasses a lot of different things each and every day. But super excited to be here and kind of talk a little bit more about life here and postgraduate everything.
Excellent. Now, Caroline, tell us what year you graduated and what you got your degree in.
Yeah. So I graduated in 2017 with a degree in marketing from the College of Business. And then I left for a year, decided I missed Tallahassee a little bit too much. So I came back to get my MBA and graduated again in 2019. And then I have been at South Carolina ever since.
Awesome. She has done amazing things in the world of athletics and beyond. I think you're also part of a very distinguished board within our business program. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so during my time in grad school, I was a GA for two different departments. I was a GA actually with you.
Hey.
Fun. And then I also was a graduate assistant for the Dean of the College of Business. And so through that role, I got to learn a little bit more about the college and the opportunities to engage once you graduate. And so through there, I applied to be a part of the recent alumni board. And this is for people who graduated the college business from 1 year to 10 years. And so once you hit the 10-year mark, you kind of roll off and they're like, you will eventually join the Board of Governors if that is your desire. But pretty much what I do on this board is I serve as the secretary, but then we work to find ways to engage alumni who are within that 10-year age gap. And whether that's your time, your treasure, the college business has this mindset of there's always a way you can give back, and it could be mentoring or it could be financially. There's a lot of different opportunities. And so it's given me a way to connect with alumni in California, in Texas, across the board, and continue to build because the Seminole family is the best.
I think that's one of the neatest things that we're seeing as we're talking more with our former student athletes in this career discovery podcast, if you will, that our network is so powerful. And just reaching back, our alumni are very interested in helping our current student athletes find jobs, get into the working world, and promote them forward. So that is what this is all about. And you've done a great job of reaching back to help other student athletes. So this is just one more opportunity that we get to have that conversation and reach back and help our current student athletes grow. So I have a few questions for you. The first one is just tell us, they're not gonna be too hard. Tell us a little bit about your day-to-day. Like, what does it look like in your job, your duty, your title, things like that?
Yeah, so my title is I'm the Assistant Director of Student Athlete Development. And so day to day, this encompasses so many things. I don't think I could fit it all into one bubble, but a lot of it at the end of the day is we've kind of rebranded my department to be called Gamecock CEO. And same thing with student athletes, wherever you are, it's empowering you to be the CEO of your lives. And so what that looks like for me is day to day, I am mentoring athletes to help them figure out what they want to do, what kind of leader they want to be, what kind of career they want to go after, and how they want to leave an imprint on the community. That's kind of the blessing in each day is I'm getting to interact and have these moments and those aha moments of the light bulb comes on and this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to go forward with it with full confidence. Other than that, I also am spending a lot of time planning events. And so, especially in COVID, you can imagine it's been a little bit interesting because events aren't exactly reality right now. And so it's fun. And Zoom, you know what, we're figuring out ways to make it fun. And yeah. And then other than that, I would say a lot of my day is also just connecting with employers and figuring out what they are looking for, what they want out of our athletes, and how we can add value in different capacities. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. But as your life is lived and everyone in your department is there's so much going on, and the biggest blessing is just being able to be a part of somebody's story.
I love how you said add value, because that is such a strength of yours. I think any interaction that you have, you add value to that relationship. And I know that your student athletes see that as well. So kudos to you, and just a life of service. And I know how a lot of student athletes, as you are kind of pursuing a career path, that service minded, customer service, whatever that looks like. So while it pertains to what Caroline is doing in student athlete development, the service industry, reaches a very wide breadth of, jobs. So your experience in this area obviously could relate to a lot of different career paths. And you're just putting in that work, and you could probably even put that, I mean, that would look like on your resume to translate if you applied for another job. It would certainly translate over to a different field. So I think that's one of the things that as we're crafting these careers, we don't even realize that, you don't have to be pigeonholed into a career. So your degree, and then your job, and then your next job may all three be very, very different, but your experience from all three is very, very valuable.
Mhm.
And we're just trying to articulate that and give ourselves those opportunities. All right, next question. Um, what does an entry level position look like for you? And maybe in athletics in general. So, what tips would you have for our student athletes who are interested in working in athletics, maybe just broadly?
Yeah. So when I was a student athlete, I interned in the marketing department, which was so fun. I helped with, we rolled up t-shirts to throw out into the crowd. I designed graphics for different upcoming games. I remember going with Gabby Bevelard. She and I went to pick up the Renegade costume and drove through campus promoting a women's basketball game. So I would suggest as a student athlete, there are so many departments within athletics, from the business office to communications to the video team and social media. Um, Find something that you want to try out and see what it's like, because any exposure in any department is going to give you exposure to everything. And so when I was in marketing, I learned, oh, we have to be in communication with a video team. We have to be in communication with communications. We have to be in communication with the team itself and operations, so that the whole orchestration of an event can come together and put on a production that both the student athletes love, the fans, the boosters, everyone. And so I would suggest, more than anything in an entry level job, is don't be afraid to just jump right into it. I had never had an internship before until I got to the marketing department. I had no idea what to expect, but I went in there with such an open mind to learn and figure out and just ask questions. I think one of the biggest things you can do is operate with a mindset that there is no dumb question. I tell that to the people who work with us every day. Like, ask any and every question, because you're going to learn something that you can't Google on the internet.
Amen. Amen. I think there's also a stigma, maybe even of,
Mhm.
that entry level position. We're used to, or kind of seek after a certain number for maybe a salary.
Yes.
The
Mhm.
power of volunteering. Whenever, I mean, even our current student athletes, there are opportunities to volunteer for events. I know time is pressed, but in COVID times, people may be just looking for just sheer manpower. So
Yeah.
ways to get involved. No ego involved. I guess I could even
Mhm.
say that, but
No,
those
ego of
connections,
ego.
absolutely. But getting to know people, like how many times has it proved beneficial for you of, you put yourself out there and you created a relationship.
Yeah, the power in that, Sarah, is everything, in every single thing that I've done. And I will tell our student athletes, the best thing you can do is when you come into the Moore Athletic Center, there is an elevator. And I know people will joke about taking the stairs to the second floor study hall. Okay, that's fine. But hop in that elevator and you don't know who you are going to meet going up and down 2, 3, 4 floors, whether that's somebody who works in the C-suite, somebody who works in another office. They are all, whoever is in that elevator is there to support the operations of Florida State athletics, no matter what. And so talk to them, ask them questions. Something incredible can happen in 15 seconds that you will never realize. And I know I have some of my strongest bonds by meeting people in the elevator. So talk to people, and honestly, if you think you are too pressed for time to have a conversation, there needs to be a reevaluation, whether that's getting up earlier. I will say this so many times, is like, time is our greatest gift that we can give. And so if you can give it to other people, it's going to come back to you tenfold.
So much wisdom, so much wisdom. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to throw a question in there. So you mentioned elevator. We talk a lot about elevator pitches. I'm not going to make you do your elevator pitch, but like, what would your dream job, or what would you say to someone that you would want to give you a job? If you were, so you walk in that elevator, number one, what's that job? What would that job be? And then what would you tell them?
I would say that job would be doing something that helps be a waymaker for the rest of the world. And so for me, my pitch is to other people that one of my favorite things to do is do a puzzle. And so my sweet spot is taking things that are seemingly unconnected and turning them into integrated opportunities and possibilities. So it's taking things that people might not see as connected, but putting them together to do something that's even more beautiful than people could imagine. And so that's my pitch to people. And it's taken me a while, and I've reframed it so many times, but that's where I'm at right now. And so whoever is out there, if you have a lot of unrelated pieces, I will integrate them for you in no other way that you would imagine.
Branding guru, like that was like perfectly packaged in the very best of ways. But that, you've been intentional about that, right? It's taking you a while to articulate it into the right words. So the preparation, like you're ready to pitch that whenever given the opportunity, but it's true to who you are. So I challenge everybody, our student athletes, whoever's listening, like we're talking to millions of people here, to prepare yourself for that opportunity. You never know when that's going to come, but you have to know who you are first, right? So you have to know that about yourself to be able to share that passion, to share that vision with somebody. So I know you've taken the time to articulate it. You've built the confidence to be able to share it when needed. And then you've given yourself the opportunity by getting in an elevator, by seeking out all those other opportunities. So I know you ready, girl. I know you ready. And you are already doing that. But
you probably will.
Whatever scale that is, I know you will make it happen. All right. So final question. What advice would you give student athletes in the career discovery phase? So obviously, you know, you enter your senior year, maybe you enter your junior year, and you have this degree and it means X, but degree X does not mean career Y, right? Or career X, same thing. Like sometimes they just don't have this linear fashion. So as someone's thinking degree, career, lifestyle, all that stuff, what advice would you give our student athletes as they're making those decisions and preparing for that life after sport?
That's a really great question. And honestly, my background is in marketing and then in business. And then now I'm working in student athlete development. And that, it's a zigzag. And that's what life is going to be like. It's going to be a zigzag. And just because you study something does not mean you have to do that. I see a lot of people who go into work for an engineering company who studied psychology. And so there is no limit to what you can do. The only limit you have is the one you set yourself. And so what I would say is, as you're exploring things, like, you seriously, like, it's okay to not know. I don't know. And so it's okay to not know. I have been reading a book on physics, and that used to scare me to death. I never took anything beyond chemistry because I was required to in high school. I finally picked up a book to learn about physics because I realized, like, I'm limiting myself in understanding something about the world because I say I can't understand it. And now I understand that the people who study physics, their answer to everything is they still don't know. And so that's okay. It's okay to not know. And the best thing you can do is just be curious and to walk in and say, I'm going to try this job. And then, I don't like it. I'm going to shift this way. Okay, make that shift. And so you have to think for yourself, though, because I can't tell you how you want to live your life because we don't need two Carolines. We need you to be who you are. And so that's my biggest thing, is just acknowledge it's okay to not know and walk confidently in that. I say it all the time. I answer a lot of things I don't know, but I still ask the questions and then try to give myself an answer. And then maybe in 10 days, that answer changes, and I'm okay with that.
Anytime I hear the word curious, I think about you. We've had so many conversations around that topic of, that's where the real learning happens, is whenever you're curious about something and you seek out an answer. So there's so many intriguing things. I would never pick up a book about physics. There's no curiosity in the slightest. Oh my gosh, that intimidates me so much. But that curiosity of seeking out answers and to just continuously learn, in a school environment, that learning, maybe you don't pick up a lot of books just because you're so tapped out after the end of your coursework. I found that one of the best things post-graduation was just reading for leisure and finding a topic that I really enjoyed and pursuing it. Again, not physics, but maybe I need to challenge myself in a different way. Carolyn was telling me, tell us about your goal for this year for books.
One of my goals for this year is actually to read 150 books.
150 books, not pages, 150 books.
And honestly, I didn't really know this was my goal until I said it, but the goal behind that is, what I want to be able to do is, I don't want to work in the dark. I want people to see, and so now you all know this is something I'm driving towards. And now I have whoever's listening to kind of check in on me. Hey, what book number are you on? So that is one of my biggest goals, is to work in the light and let people see it, and then constantly recreate and move forward. And I'm a firm believer that that's the best way that we can continue to improve, because whether that's in sport and life, if we aren't performing in front of people, if we don't race the clock, if we don't shoot the ball, we're never going to know if we can do it. And so I might as well do it in front of a bunch of people, because then I'll have the feedback that I need to keep on improving. So
love it. So basically you're saying shoot your shot.
Yes, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Don't question it.
I used that in just common language the other day, and Daniel said, do you know what that means? I was like, well, it can infer a lot of different things. So just know that I have good intentions here. This is shoot your shot, confidence, right?
Yes.
And I would say no low key.
Metaphor mean what you want it to mean.
Amen. Amen. Oh, good stuff. Well, that is our last question. Is there any other parting advice you have for our Seminole family as they pursue their careers, they take action and prepare themselves for that next opportunity?
We've said this before, but the Seminole family is truly like no other. And so please, please, please do not be afraid to reach out to anyone in the Seminole family. You can go on LinkedIn, search under Florida State University, and look at alumni. Do not be afraid. Be that person to send that message, because out of the one person that sends that message to reach out to an alum, there's 100 other people who can't push that. So shoot your shot and just try. I mean, maybe people won't reply, but maybe they won't, but it's better to try than to never know.
Yes, so many quotables. I think I'm going to go back, read, and just make a quotable page from our conversation. So good. But thank you, Caroline. You are the best. Career Discovery Friday. I know Caroline would say this, but reach out to Caroline if you have questions, you want just to chat with her. She's full of wisdom and obviously an amazing alumni, very connected within our business department here on campus, our athletic department, and she is a waymaker and a connector. So a great person to reach out to. All right, fam. Y'all have a wonderful day. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Caroline.
Happy Friday.